The title of our paper is Touching the Earth, the challenge of providing culturally appropriate childcare services in a landscape where profits are the priority. I am Dr. Noni Harris and my co-researcher is Miss Bev Tinning. Accessing quality long daycare in the large regional cities of Northern Australia means parents and carers negotiate a unique and particularly complex childcare landscape. A 2007 study focusing on the experiences of women in one regional city, Townsville, found that regional context, with its associated high levels of growth and mobility, isolation from family support, and at that time rapidly expanding corporate childcare sector, heightened these women's vulnerability to diminished opportunities to choose quality long daycare services. The recent global economic downturn and the collapse of Australia's largest corporate childcare provider may further complicate regional parents and carers' access to quality childcare in Northern Australia. The Townsville 2007 research focused on 20 women's experiences of choosing quality long daycare in a childcare landscape that privileged for-profit childcare solutions. The 2009 research, also presented in this paper, replicated the 2007 study and increased its scope by focusing on the experiences of male and female parents and carers, 49 in total, in 3 additional large Northern Australian regional cities, that is Darwin, Cairns and Mackay. Specifically, this paper presents qualitative data from Indigenous parents, those who identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander in Northern Regional Australia, who were interviewed as part of the 2007 and 2009 studies. Let me begin by giving you some background to the policy context. There is no doubt that governments in Australia have encouraged the market rules approach to childcare, believing that a market-driven sector responsive to parental demand would ensure accessible, affordable, high-quality long daycare services. However, the women who participated in our original 2007 study thought linking parental demand and quality was flawed, as such a link assumed that there would be a range of quality options to choose from. This was not their experience. Further, the women claimed that the government used the market as a mechanism under the guise of consumer choice for supporting the unaccountable growth of the corporate sector and to avoid funding community-based childcare services. The women's material experience may not be uncommon in the contemporary neoliberal policy environment, where, as Baker in 2008 said, there has been a retreat from state welfare provision to privatised services and a shift from interventionist economic management to free market principles. In this environment, rational choice is valorised as both an expression of individual freedom and a mechanism that will deliver innovative and responsive services, free from the restraints of government. So let's hear the voices of Indigenous parents. In this study, parents' responses were most strongly focused on what it was like to access quality long daycare, their understanding of what constituted quality care, and their experiences of negotiating the 2007 and 2009 childcare landscapes. The data is presented according to these themes, and we have selected data that best exemplifies respondents' experiences. So firstly, accessing quality childcare. In their search for care, Indigenous parents identified the additional challenge of finding culturally appropriate care, a priority for Indigenous families. As Guilford, Sims, Saggers and Hutchins said in 2010, of particular concern in relation to formal childcare is the need for programs to be culturally strong. One parent said, "I put Tyson's name down at a childcare centre when I was 6 months pregnant because I had heard through my work that it was good and culturally appropriate. They really work hard to address the cultural issues for Aboriginal kids and kids from other backgrounds. Firstly, I wanted to see if anyone on staff was black or at least not white, then I was interested in how it looked. For me, it is really important that their kids are in touch with the earth and the ground. As with non-Indigenous parents, many Indigenous parents have moved to regional cities to pursue employment opportunities. This relocation often meant they were separated from extended family, their first childcare choice. One parent said, "As you know, not many Aboriginal and Islander families put their kids in daycare by choice. Usually we will have family members who will do it, and that way they are not exposed to racism too young." Parents were looking for somewhere with Indigenous staff and other Indigenous kids, and then a place that felt welcoming. I wanted to feel it was a happy place with lots of laughter. But what was their experience of the quality of care? Some parents were satisfied that the quality of care their children were receiving was good. One parent said, "Look, I really don't know much about them. I just know that this centre is really nice and closer to what I want. It has friendly staff, there are different languages on the posters and some Murray posters and things, and the play area outside is big and grassy with trees and sandpits." Many, however, were dissatisfied with the quality of care their children were currently had or had in the past received. One parent said, "I'm not real comfortable there, and I'm sure part of it is that we're the only black family. I'm hoping we won't stay there for much longer, but at the moment the boys have to wait. They're not so unhappy. They seem okay. You know kids, they're adaptable. But you don't want your kids to have to adapt. I hate the thought that they are going somewhere second rate. But what I want doesn't exist, and the closest thing to it has a 6-month waiting list." Let's look at what they thought about relying on the market. Governments have linked childcare quality to an expanded childcare market. That quality will be driven up by market forces. In both studies, all parents saw the reliance on the market mechanism to ensure a range of childcare quality options as problematic. One parent said, "It seems ridiculous. I mean, there aren't choices for a start, and if there are choices, then they'll be catering, as always, to the majority of people where the market is. So people in the minority, like Indigenous kids, will never receive the care they need." I thought that argument, market forces, was known as false. "I think childcare is a problem," says another parent, "all over the country, and especially for families that need something different from the norm, because they have to offer whatever the most people want, so they can get lots of kids to make their money. It doesn't make it fair, though, for those of us who aren't in the majority." So to conclude, this research has drawn on the voices of Indigenous parents to explore the complex interplay between childcare policy, conceptions of diversity and community, and ideas of choice, quality, and the implications of government reliance on the market mechanism. For Indigenous parents in this study, the government's reliance on the market mechanism served only to increase their alienation from a valuable service and to emphasise the market's insensitivity to the needs of a diverse community.